Oh, wait a minute. Let me put you up here with me. 3, 2, 1. You're up with me. Yes, there's Miss Cat Maria. Oh. Oh, and Mike G, he's at him and his wife actually got. They played music. I've got CDs from. See who we get jumping on. Me and my green hair. Mr. Phil, sir, what is up? Phil man. That is the man with the plan. That was 2 finger, Phil. Hello, Courtney. You guys get on and share real quick. Hello, Missy. Let me jump on here and see what we got going on. Take a minute for it to do. There's my brother Chris. What's up, Chris? I love this song. I found it on there one time. Hello, Shisha. Hi, Melissa. Girl, Melissa, if you got questions tonight, this is the night to Shantae. I hope I got that right. Ah, there's Miss Ann. You guys get up there. Jason Thompson, hello. You guys get on there. Hello, Rita. Hello, son. Get on there and share real quick. Me and Kat just jam out while you're doing it. Yes, thanks to the producer, we do have a better picture this week. I shot a different angle. Hello. Oh, Shante, thank you. I was making sure I got your name right. I didn't want to screw that up. I get on there where I can share. Hey, there's Misty. She says, oh, shit. What's wrong, Misty? My brother Chris. Love him to death. Jamie Davis Cummins, hello. How are you? Get on there and share real quick. Me and Kat are jamming out for the first couple of minutes. I'm acting like a snake. I'm a snake. Wow. Hello, Amanda. Get on there and share real quick. I'm waiting for mine to. Oh, there we go. I got it on there. Here we go. There we go. Now we're rocking it. Who's that? Hello, Rosanna. You got that right, I hope. There's Tim. Hello, Tim. You guys get out there and share it to your page. Do whatever you can. Say hi to Kat. We're about ready to get rocking here. The only thing I hate about this guy, because I got 2 different kinds, the only thing I hate about this one is I got to keep scrolling down to see what everybody said. Amanda likes when I said I'm a snake. Francesca or Francesca? Is that right? Franny?
Hi, Franny.
Oh, the music stopped. Whoa! Hello, Paranormal Freaks. I'm your host, Mike. Well, I ought to go with Shane because everybody calls me Shane. And this is Paranormal Highways. Look, check out my guest. Isn't she beautiful? And she's got some stories. Hello, Joe. She's got some stories to tell you about paranormal and beyond. Do you know what the beyond is? Hello, Leanne. I don't know what the beyond is. I just threw that in there, guys. I want everybody to welcome Kat Maria from Trinity Paranormal. Look, I was about to say Paranormal Highways. Hello, see, that's Jeremy. Can you do screaming backdrop during the show? Yeah, brother. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I used to be a professional wrestler, independent professional wrestler. And Jeremy Richards just, can you do a screaming backdrop during a show? Brother, I can scream. Ah! Oh, but we're going to have a great time tonight. We got Kat Maria. We're going to talk about some paranormal. We're going to talk about a little bit of sensitivity, and we're going to probably end up with some darker stuff. But we're going to let her move into it slowly. But I don't want to blow it all on the demon because everybody loves listening to demons. But I want to listen to Kat. I want to know where Kat began with all this stuff. So tell us where you began, Miss Kat Maria.
Okay. I think it began when I was only 1.5 years old.
What?
Yeah.
And you remember it?
Yes, I do. Yeah. My brother's crib was adjacent from mine, and we still lived in the city. We were not yet in the suburbs. And I would hear this growling under his crib, and I would cry for my mother, and she would always tell me, no, that's your brother snoring. And then one night I just wouldn't stop, crying. And my mom came in the room and she said, it's your brother snoring, stop it. And I said, I couldn't pronounce the word monster. So I pointed under his crib and I was saying, not my brother, monster. And I kept pointing under his crib.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, and what I would see is like this black mass with no tertiary structure, no structure. It had like no structure to it. And I would see that often under there. I didn't want to sleep in there anymore. So that's kind of where it began.
Oh, wow. No, the thing that really, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but the thing that really amazes me is that you remember it at 1.5 years old.
I don't know why. I don't remember everything at one. I don't think I remember anything at 1.5 years old, except I can still see that apartment, like the layout of the apartment and just very little things. I have very vague memory of it, but the growling, I remember distinctively.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's got me dumbfounded there because not only your age, you was able to pick out monster.
Yeah, but I couldn't say monster. It was monster. I can't pronounce monster.
It don't matter. You got the point, didn't you? You got the point out though.
Oh,
that's the thing.
Yeah, it didn't feel right then. Just like it never feels right for anyone who's around that. It was it's never a good feeling, to be around something like that. And I recall it well.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kat. They're hearing a little bit of echo. Hopefully, for some reason, I have tremendous echo.
Is it me?
Give it a second. I think it's like a 3-second delay. Hi, Ellen. Is it getting better, guys? It sounds good to me. I don't know what it sounds good on that end. Oh, okay. They said it's better. Woo!
Woo!
Oh. Yeah. Thank goodness. I don't know. For some reason, sometimes when we get started, it does do that, and it drives me nuts. But somehow it adjusts how it does. Yeah. I might be able to do even better and do this. Can you hear me, Kat?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's better. There we go. All right. So at 1.5, you kept hollering monster that was underneath your brother's bed. Did your brother feel anything at all?
Nothing. Never.
So he never heard anything?
No, nothing.
Oh, wow.
It was, and that went on for years. He just now admitted something to me that he did feel like something was in our house, the one we moved in after that, which I'll get into just now. And I was like, you're telling me now? Like you let me look like a crazy person for all those years,
So as you was growing up, you kept feeling more, seeing more while you was in there?
Well, just our turn of luck is, of course, like a lot of families, we moved from the city to the suburbs. And my parents bought their first house, a nice little wide line Cape,
Right.
So when we got there, my brother and I were put in the upstairs, and mom and dad were downstairs. And that bedroom I had like a crawl space.
Okay.
I did not like that crawl space. Something was very wrong with that house. So, but I couldn't figure out what. But there was one figure that made me very comfortable before bed, and it was like a man, like with a hat figure, and he was like tall and dark. And he used to come by my bed, and I used to talk to him. He didn't come off as like unfriendly at the time.
Right.
Yes, and one night my mother had heard me talking to him, and she said, "Who is that? Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Oh, it's my friend. It's the man. He comes to say goodnight." Very shortly thereafter, my bedroom was moved. My mother had moved me out of that bedroom. My mother, for the record, is a sensitive, but she doesn't. Of course, when I was that young, she didn't want to say anything to frighten me, so she just pretty much moved me out of the room.
Okay. So you said your mom was a sensitive.
Oh, she is. Yeah,
How
she
how
still
long
is.
how long did it take her to tell you that she was?
This I learned when I was a little older. I think I learned when I was about 6. I can get to that. It's kind of like 6 or 7. I think I learned that mom knew more than she told me she was. More than she was leading on to tell me, because when I moved into the downstairs room, it got a little less friendly for some reason. I don't know what was going on, but my mother had actually taken that room.
Huh.
Um, there was so many things that went on in that house. I don't even know where to begin. I was in the new room. Just for the record, I had gotten switched into a third room, and here's why. I was in the new room, and I had seen something at the doorway that kind of looked like a skull with the hanging head on a noose, and then like something hanging. I don't know if it was feathers or something. It was like a shadow of it, just like hanging by my door.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and then that's when I heard the loud growl right in my ear. And my mother was, believe it or not, sitting on the living room floor, putting rollers in her hair, watching Sonny and Cher. Yes. And I screamed bloody murder. I screamed. I wouldn't even get out of my room. I was screaming. And then she opened the door, and she, brought me out, of course, into the living room. Shortly thereafter, my room was switched again. And there were so this is just a few, short.
Right.
So this went on and on. At one point, my mother was very friendly. She had a lot of people come over. She's just very inviting. She's a nice person, and she would have these parties, but they weren't like bad parties. They were parties with like her friends and their kids, and she let all the kids sleep over, and like it was just that kind of house back then. And she had her girlfriend Linda sleep over, and she had 3 kids. So now remember, my mother had taken that old room,
Right.
and so she let her 2 daughters sleep downstairs. My brother slept by himself, and then she took myself because I was very young. I think I was 5, and Linda's son was only 3, and they shared the bed, and we all went to sleep. And then my mother had started to feel like something was in the room, and then the room went ice cold. And then Linda had said something brushed up across her face like a sleeve. And then they got up, and and I looked at them, and they were, looking at me, and I was like, "What, mommy? It's just the man."
Right.
I was saying, "That's just the man, mommy." And we packed up, and we left the house.
So you're able to see them too, besides sense them.
Often, not all the time. Mostly, I actually hear them first.
Okay.
And what's really odd about it is it's kind of like the difference between human spirit and dark spirit or demonic spirit. You can actually feel. It's almost like when somebody doesn't like you and they're giving you the stank eye. You know, what I
Right.
mean. It's kind of like that. And it's kind of like feels like it's and even I can sense that at a distance, and it hasn't been fun. I have to tell you, because I really don't talk about this. This is probably the first time I'm really talking about this. So thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
It's not something you can just walk up to somebody and tell them, because they automatically deem you as crazy. And now, thanks to my team Trinity And thanks to all the hard work Phil does with the tech work, he's actually proven that what I'm hearing and seeing is there.
So it's
Which is
actually
amazing.
giving you more confidence in you.
Well, I know what I was hearing. My mother had me tested. I'll go back again. Sorry. So after all this activity in the house, and there was a lot of witnesses in that house that witnessed a lot of activity. I probably might even have some old friends on here that know that house. I mean, it was just not good. And to be honest, I know that when my mother was young, she did have some friends over that did some dabbling with some things maybe they shouldn't have in the spirit world. So that
Right.
probably didn't help. And the house was over an Indian burial ground. So
What?
yeah,
What? Wait, what?
yes, 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 sir.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So that probably didn't help, to have two sensitives in the house, and then you have people dabbling, and you're over an Indian burial ground. I later found out my mother had told me that the people who she bought the house from, I only just found this out, by the way, that the first thing they said to her as upon advice with the house is get a priest. Get a priest.
Wow.
So I didn't know any of this, So
So when they
yeah, I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So because I continue to say things like, one time I was jumping up and down, excited. And my mother said, "What are you so excited?" I said, "Dad's buying me pink and orange pajamas today." I said, "Jammies."
Jammies.
And she just brushed it off what I said because there were no phones in the 70s. Dad went to work and you saw him when he got home.
Right.
And it happened to be he ran into one of those, street sellers on the way home from work because he worked in the city and came home with pink and orange pajamas for me. So
What'd your mom say?
she called her friend who is a parapsychologist. She'd had it with all the weird things I was seeing and saying. And she had the woman come over. I don't remember the details, but she sat her at the woman sat at the table, and she was a parapsychologist. This is what she did. And she said, my mother's concern was, I don't want people, when my daughter says things like this, I don't want them to think she's crazy, because my daughter's not crazy. My daughter's not crazy. She's a normal kid like anyone else, So she was concerned, and she had this woman who also, she does both. She does paranormal and she does psychology, and she had a degree in this. And she sat at the table with me, and all I remember, because I was so young, were these cards. They were like, those math cards, 2 + 2
Yep.
= 4, cards like that. I remember her asking me a lot of questions, and then she just got up and she went up to my mother and she said, "Your daughter's one of us." And that's how that went. And I left that alone from there. I did nothing with it. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know why. I was just a kid trying to be a kid. I climbed trees, I was trying to be a kid. What is this crap, coming out,
Right.
nonsense. And also as I progressed, I could actually see when something's over someone. And I have some pictures too. Finally, as an adult, I actually took pictures of it because I used to just ignore it. But I saw something over my friend, like her face was changing. It looked contorted.
Yeah.
And I said immediately, she's going to get very sick. And she had called me not long after that with news that she got cancer, which she did beat. She beat the cancer, but what a fight she had.
Yes, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and there's weird circumstances. I'm certainly not a psychic or a medium. I don't have those abilities. It either comes to me or it doesn't. But when it does, it comes really strong.
Really.
Yeah, and I'm just like, whoa, what is this? Another time, and Phil will tell you, I was out someplace and I had picked up this smell, and it was disgusting. It was a really bad smell, and it kept leading me towards this one person, and I discreetly slid over and took a picture, and that picture I'll send you later.
Okay.
There is something right over his face. You can't see his face anymore, and there's, the mouth is opened, and it's just not a good picture.
Like he's trying to eat him?
No, it was like something was over him. That's what it feels like. Something's got him. And then it turned out later on down the road that, this person was leading a seedy life,
Oh.
And, yeah. And I don't, I was just trying to listen to some music, and, have wine and mind my own business when this happened. It's like, come on, man.
So, speaking of, you got your sensitivity. When did you start doing your paranormal investigations and using your gift?
Yes, thanks to my awesome team. I love these guys. I'm telling you, about 2 years ago, I said, I started, it began because I started to do, believe it or not, I started to do a lot of prayer meditation. I am a Christian like Chris and Dora is. And I started to do a one straight year of prayer meditation to say, why, with all the problems in the grand scheme of life, what the hell is this now? I don't need this. I can't use it. You can't walk up to a person and say, hey, listen, you might die if you don't. You sound like a nut. So what are you gonna do? You do.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'm like, all this is doing is stressing me out. What is this for? So I did ambient prayer meditation for a year straight. And I kept getting these verses that was saying, use what you have for good. Use your ability for good. Use it for good. I'm like, well, the only good I could think of is to help people who lived in houses like I lived in, number one, to see if I can help them with that, because those things can be removed. They can be. And people don't know that. You know that.
Yeah.
Shane. You're an investigator. You know the drill. So they can be removed. And also to help trapped spirits. We don't want trapped spirits. That is just such a sad thing. It's okay if they visit, I've got no problem with that. That's fine. But when they're trapped, that really breaks my heart, especially when it's a child. And that is the reason. That was the drive. And it just so happened to be that I know people from Phil's family, and I was like I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy does this. He goes to cemeteries and he's really good with the audio. I said, let me give him a call.
Hey, that was probably the best call you made right there. Chris is great.
Phil Mouse rocks. The best decision I ever made in my life. I'm telling you, he took that thought and that that whole dream that I had to fix this problem, to use this to the best of my ability, and like he did the tech work. And I'm telling you right now, I might sound crazy, but we have audio and video to prove that maybe not so crazy. Everybody's a little crazy. I'm sure I'm a little.
Well, the thing of it is, in my eyes, what Phil done for you is he went out and gave you the confidence from what you was lacking as you was coming up. You know what I'm saying?
I 100%, 100%, because he caught it. Here's an example. Case 6. We do Trinity does 4 sections. The team does 4 sections. We do an interview, then we do a follow-up. Interview, investigation, follow-up, and then upon the client's request, a cleansing if they require one, which often we encourage. So we were at the follow-up part. We had done the investigation. The follow-up is the part where we just go over everything with them. We show them some of the evidence and we let them make a decision.
Yep.
Case 6, I could not sit through this follow-up, and he saw me. I was squirming, and Phil knows me now. So, we worked together a little bit, and I'm squirming because I could freaking hear them behind me. This wasn't demonic, by the way. This was just unfriendly. Let's just say it was unfriendly. Somebody who really didn't make it to the light, because they probably weren't such a great person here on this earth. That's what I'm guessing. So I'm trying to pay attention and be the best I can be for the client, and I keep looking behind me, and Phil actually elbowed me. He's like, ignore them, Cat. He goes,
well, well, just as you were speaking there, Phil just posted. I don't know if you could see it on your side. I put it up on screen.
Yes, he's right. It really is. Thank you, Phil. Definitely, brother. Definitely. It was, and if you'd have been there, it would have been like almost a comical movie scene, because he literally went, and his teeth were kind of like, he didn't say it in his full voice. He's like, ignore them. He's like, I can't help it. Would you know that Phil went home and played back the audio? And would you know what he got? He got a spirit saying, here's this effing woman again.
Are you serious?
Clear as day. I was like, he did give me the confidence because I'm like, see, I told you, when I say I'm hearing something, I promise you, I'm hearing it. It's like it was great. It was great. Yeah, yeah.
That
And
is
then
awesome.
so, this is how it's been going for forever, but I'm really glad to be able to put it to use and to help these families and help these spirits. And I love what the paranormal community is doing. I really do. Um, Teams all over the place. Look at this, all over the world. It's amazing. It's amazing. We're going to be working with Scar and Beyond the Grave next week. Next week at Fort William Henry. We're looking forward to
Oh
that.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I love the para unity. I think it's amazing. It's just makes me really happy that everybody's really putting the evidence out there because we come from that era. I don't hide my age. I'm 50 years old. I ain't even trying to lie.
Well, honey, I'm tracking right up behind you. I'm
There you
48.
go. So listen, you go up in the 70s and tell somebody that they're going to get sick or you're hearing something and they will put you in the crazy house. That's
Terry said you're 50, but you're looking fabulous, woman.
Oh, hi, baby. Oh, she's gorgeous. You should see her. Oh, thank you.
You got a lot. There's a lot of comments on there that I don't know if you can see them as you're posting, as I'm posting them, but there's a lot of people that are really, really giving you, what do you want to call
Props.
props? There you go.
Oh, thank
Thank
Hi,
you,
Lisa.
Mr. Producer.
Hi, Lisa. I love you.
That says she loved you.
I do. I want to work with you and Lisa one day. I want Trinity to work with you one day. That'd be so
Oh,
awesome.
that would be great. We got to.
Listen, you say the word and I am down.
I'm telling you.
We are down.
I told Chris the other day, I said, we need to get Phil, Kat, Misty, you, me, Lisa. I said, we all need to get a place to get, just to go investigate.
Definitely.
And that we can legally go into, Chris.
No, really, Chris talks this team into anything. We love Chris. We love Chris.
He's great.
Best addition ever. Oh my God, he is such a diehard. You gotta love him. He's all heart, 100% heart. Love you, Chris.
I love him too, man. He's great. And the thing of it is the man will put himself in Facebook jail to get the word out.
Such a diehard.
Yes,
a diehard. We're trying to, we all of us speaking for all the paranormal people, we recognize that there are people who are sick and they're ill, but not everyone's crazy. Give them a chance. We've got technology now. We can have somebody to put their money where their mouth is. This is a good thing for the paranormal community. And you know what? It might be a very good thing for the spirit world because like I said and I'll say it again, I've gotten EVPs that say, I'm in a void, help me. I know a lot of people out there. The I'm in a void one is on our YouTube. You should hear it. It's just clear as day. And I heard it.
That would break my heart.
It's heartbreaking. We're actually going back to that area for two reasons. We got the Help Me and the I'm in a Void there. That's Kings Park. So we're going back there.
Now, that Amanda Lewis, isn't that Scar?
Yes. Hi, Amanda. I see you.
Yeah, that's what
Are
I
you
thought.
laughing at Chris for being in Facebook? You've been there yourself.
Well, see, I thought, now I'm on their page too, and I thought that I when I popped it up there and I seen her and her husband, I was like, wait a minute. I couldn't pinpoint what group they were in, but I knew they started a group. And when you said Scar, I was like, oh, there it was. And then she put something on there. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, so they're all friends.
That's the way it's got to be.
Killer team.
That's the way it's got to be. It's got to be everybody together. That's the only thing we're going to.
Listen, we're all about the power unity. There's no egos here. This is all about serving the paranormal purpose, And everybody what I like is everybody on my team has some that are in unity, but they also have their own thing, Yep. Like Chris is amazing with the equipment. Amazing. Like I drive him nuts. Ask him. I drive him nuts. I'm like, what do I do with this thing? What's this thing for? I don't know what to do with this equipment. Martha on our team too. She is the mama. She is the people person. She is my cleansing partner. I love her. what she does is something that I can't do during a cleanse because I'm too focused on, what I'm doing during the cleanse. And
Right.
there could be 3 family members in the house. She knows exactly which one is feeling a certain kind of way, and she's very, very comforting during the cleansings. It's very hard to explain, unless you're like on the scene. But what she does is amazing because these people, when you're doing the cleansing, they tend to get very nervous, and she just beelines for them. Like, she knows exactly how to deal with them. She's like us. She's not afraid of spirits, so she knows how to deal with them in a really comforting way. Well, I'm being, a little aggressive because I'm trying to move out spirits. I'm being a little aggressive.
Now, I haven't had a chance to actually talk to Martha, or I'm pretty sure there's a few more that I haven't talked to. I know, Kat, you, Misty. Well, I said Kat, you. Hey, Kat, you're 2 people. I'm working with, split personalities tonight.
Yeah.
I'll bring out the other side of her in just a few minutes, guys.
Oh yeah, well, that could happen.
Let me start my chanting. That's good stuff right there. Here comes Kat.
Yeah, so we have, like, it's like a full package, right now. And then we have lovely Courtney, by the way. That was so cool. She loves her package. She messaged us in group showing us, and she started showing me everything. And I said, "Wait a minute, Courtney." I said, "You need to go to Chris." I said, "I can help you a little bit with this stuff. Chris will tell you about every internal piece inside of everything." And she's like, and she hit her. She's like, "Yeah, why am I calling you?" And she called Chris. So I'm sure they had a great conversation today regarding your gift package.
Well, I changed it up on her a bit on her package. Usually they use green laser lights. I threw in red on her.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah,
did
so
you?
she's got red laser lights. That way you don't lose your night vision too much.
Oh, okay.
I love the red ones.
I like red too. And also, Phil already has the grid, so it's good to have red.
Yep.
It's a contrast, that's because he has the grid, and it could get confused, if you're in the same area or something, about that. So, yeah. So that's pretty much, how it went down. That house, we wound up leaving that house, by the way. We did.
Oh,
we left
go
the
ahead.
house. Yeah, that house was not good. And I did feel like something followed along. So I had to deal with that for a lot of years. It wasn't fun. It does bring upon a lot of chaos and a lot of and it sounds crazy. You do sound like a crazy person, but I could feel when things would go wrong. I could actually feel.
Sorry,
Listen.
I'm listening to you and watching comments at the same time. My microphone, Kim. She says, "What's that over his right shoulder?"
Listen, guys, Shane's really an alien. Okay,
Yep.
I didn't want to let the secret up, but if he sits back a little, you'll see the green light up and everything.
There you go.
Oh, Jerry.
I want you guys to meet my family.
That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, we wound up leaving that house in any event, and my mother also felt that we were followed at times. We protect ourselves pretty well, but you could always feel, when the mayhem was coming, it would start to come real hard and real fast, and you could actually sense that. Like there was a darkness. Maybe somebody in the family invited it. There's all sorts of reasons. It can come and go. You know that as well. I'm going to be honest with you, Shane. Before you had gotten sick, I saw it on you.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, I said he's not. I said he's going to get sick. I said something's wrong with Shane. Yeah.
Well, why did you tell me?
Well, I don't know. What if I don't want to scare you?
No, I want to listen to you. You should have made me get sick.
Sorry. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a psychic. I can't tell you how you're sick. There's something I see. I don't know how to explain it. I see over the face. It's always over the face.
So that's how you see it over the face of You know, like
I'd love to speak to somebody who knows more about why I see it that way, but I do see it that way, and I always did. Always did.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah, like right over the face, I could see. Like I said, you can't. I know a lot of my friends do this. Like, can you read me? No, I can't. Because if it's not coming, it's not coming. I'm not a psychic. I can't just go up to
right.
somebody. But if a message is being sent to me, I'm going to see it. You know what I mean? And that's when I said when it comes to a living person, that's where I'll see it. I kind of see something over their face. Very strange.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That well, I mean, you I guess you fine tune it a little. Well, I mean, you fine tuned it enough to where you knew I was going to be sick.
I promise you on anything, that's exactly what I saw. And then when you said diverticulitis, I was like, oh my God, that's serious too.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. Yeah. So,
That was one of those ones where you put it on there. It's like, oh, you hope you get all right, and it's like, actually, I put it on there so people can give me some feedback of what it was, and then I get this. Well, the wife Googles everything, so I'm like, she tells me, I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, and then everybody starts, yeah, my brother almost died of that. I'm like,
oh my God, oh my.
I'm like, what? No, we don't do that here.
Now you know why I don't just go up to people and say, I think you're about to get sick, because they'll be like, really, Kat, thanks a lot. You killjoy, you Debbie Downer,
I'm sorry, Kat. I got one question that popped up. Jason Thompson's asked, "Hey, Kat, random question. I have only one friend willing to ghost hunt with me. She's pagan. Is ghost hunting with a pagan safe?"
Ghost hunting. Okay, so we're a Christian group, so we don't do that. But I'm telling you right now, you can actually, as long as everybody respects each other's boundaries, you can actually investigate together. You just have to respect each other's boundaries. Like if he says to her, listen, I don't believe in this, and she wants to do something he doesn't believe in, then what I would suggest is during that portion of the investigation, step away, let her do her thing. It's a free country, it's a free world. We have respect. Let her do her thing, and then walk back in the room when she's done. You know what I'm saying? Because teams have done this. If you watch the first, remember Paranormal State, they had, I believe she was, her name was Elfie. She was on the show.
Elfie, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And they were Catholics. So,
yeah.
Some of them were anyway. I can't speak for every member on the team, but they practiced, they prayed to Saint Michael the Archangel, and she was more of an old pagan style person.
Right.
So yes, you can, and that's what Paraunity is about. You can investigate with other teams. I'm not sure if you can have. I mean, you can have a team together, but you'd have to be distinctive and respectful of each other's. And he would have to be respectful to her as well. If that's her religion and that's her belief, then he has to let her do what she wants, and then he does what he wants. And then there's a lot of parts, as you know, Shane, to paranormal investigating that are in unison. There's a lot of sections where it has nothing to do with religion, and we're just acquiring evidence. Do I have eyeliner on?
No, I done like that. My eyes stayed wrinkled for a second. I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Oh yeah, I thought you were giving me the cue. I'm like,
no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kat. I'm sorry.
That's what girls do. They're like, Kat.
I went like that, and it's like, oh my God, my eyes.
So funny. So
I'm sorry.
That was a great question. Actually, that was a really good question.
That was a really good question because there's a lot out there that I deal with a few of them that has their different religions and stuff like that.
It's all about respect. They're as you know, we have times when we're all doing the same thing. When it comes to their prayer rituals or their cleansing rituals, then you have to step away from each other and let each other work how they work. It's not for me to tell somebody who to believe in and what to do. That's not
right.
Not how we operate. It's not respectful.
Well, Mama.
I would like the same respect in return, so that's how I give it. Like you do your thing, and we're going to do our we're Judeo-Christian based group.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
that's like if I came to you, I have my faith. I have a different faith than you guys do, but I would stand in there with you. Because you know what I'm saying. I would do that because it's just the respect of your faith too.
Yes. but there's certain things like your faith may not allow, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and we take no issue with that. We understand,
Right.
it's just something there's some things we can't do. All right, so I can reword it. You don't necessarily have to step out of the room. You just
Right.
don't have to engage in the same prayer as them or the same ritual method as somebody else. And yes, you absolutely can acquire evidence together.
I agree with you 100.
Unity.
Para unity, baby. Well, as you say, Martha, Mama, as
Mama.
how do you believe an investigator should be prepared prior? I would say prior arriving at a haunted location.
Oh, prior to arriving. Okay. That Martha. You see, now you're talking to a paranormal investigator. She's throwing one at me.
That's like Chris. Chris will throw you right at it.
I love her. No, I can answer that question. It's preparation this is what we suggest. First of all, Trinity has a rule. There is absolutely no use of any recreational drugs or alcohol prior to an investigation. A minimum of 24 hours. I prefer 72 hours, but minimum of 24 hours. I need your body clean, okay? Because these are your senses that you're playing with. Okay, alcohol drops your senses. Okay, I was in the medical field for a lot of years. This is a medical fact. Alcohol
Yes.
will lower a lot of your senses. Of course, drugs, whatever you do in your personal life, I don't care. But prior, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I do believe in that you can be seeked, as it says in the Bible, seeked and devoured that way. That's for lack of better words, but there are other ways of putting it. You can be preyed on. You can be preyed on that way. So that's number one. Number two, you should not come in if you're having serious issues of depression. Shane needs water.
No, I'm starting to see things. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Here we go.
No, something brown like went up the wall and back down over there.
Yeah. That's why I turned all the lights off in the rest of my room, because I don't want to see it when I'm talking to you.
What are you doing to me, Kat?
I sent you that
picture. It must be.
Yeah.
It was wicked because I was drinking my water. And that's why I moved my arm back up and down, because I thought it might have been shadow off the lights.
Oh my God! I know Phil's laughing right now because this happens everywhere we go. So. To finish Martha's question, the other part is, I don't suggest, and this is for your own protection, that you come to an investigation depressed, with serious home issues going on that are just weighing you down, emotional problems. I think that everybody's got that, but I'm saying, when it's really laid on you heavy, and I think that you should always be honest with your team and say, listen, I'm not doing well right now. I don't think it's a good idea for me to go there. Rather than step onto the scene and then wind up with more problems later on, because what I believe can happen is a spirit can attach to you and prey on you, and be alert, be awake, be ready, get that meditation going, whatever your faith is, how you do it, you know what I mean? Be ready. When you get on there, come in strong. Yeah. It's not good to come in at a weak state, whether it's under the influence, whether you're depressed. So great question, Martha. I'll get you back for that.
All right. We got another one right here real quick. Melissa, out of Illinois. Do you have any advice on how to deal with people who tell me that people who investigate the paranormal are sinning and going to hell?
I do. This is their interpretation. As a Christian, I can tell you.
Keep going, girl. I got to step away for a second.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So as a Christian, I know where you're coming from, because that mostly comes from the Christian community. And I know it comes from other faiths too, but it does come from ours. This is how they interpret the Bible and what they're reading. And so at some levels they can be right. It depends on how you're dealing with the spirits. How are you dealing with them? It all depends on that. Are you being respectful? Are you seeking them out? Are you looking? Are you calling upon the dead? You shouldn't be doing any of that. Trinity does not do that. What we do is we go in and we try to help, and we ask permission. So if it depends on your faith, whether this is going to matter to you or not. But according to my faith, we have to be very careful how we do this. So at some level, I can't tell you you're going to hell, but there is a level where if you're being disrespectful and you're provoking and you're aggravating and you're so desperate for our results that you do things that you shouldn't be doing, which is what I call inadvertent invitation. Uh, be careful for things like that, because you might get more than you're asking for, and you won't get it right away. It'll start to come slowly. So I'm very careful. When I don't think this field is for everyone. I really don't. I think that we should there, and you've seen it, Shane. I know you've seen some people get on and with the provocation, and it's just not the right way to deal with spirits.
It was. I'm going to tell you. I'll be honest with you. When I first started, I'd done it because I wanted to see something real quick, but
Right.
I came to my senses. I've done it like 3 times, got scratched 3 times, and that was it. I was done. They
That's
told
it.
me straight up.
That's
They
a
was
sign right there.
Yeah. They was telling me be respectful or it's going to be worse. Plain and
Yes.
simple.
Yes. Yeah. They don't need that.
No, they don't. They're human too. That's the
That's
thing.
right. We are spirit beings. That's what we are.
Yeah.
The only thing that happens is when we kick the bucket, our energy just moves out of us.
I love how you put it. When we kick the bucket, I'm going to make you.
When our time is up.
When we kick the bucket.
Well, we are going
Great.
to kick the bucket.
Woo! Let me throw in one quick question here for you. Do you
Sure.
agree through some claim drugs enhance the ability or enhance their abilities?
Oh,
I wouldn't say.
okay.
Right.
That's an excellent question. I'm really glad somebody asked me that, because the Warrens even touched on this. The drugs that you're talking about, is he talking about hallucinogenics?
I'm not for sure.
Okay.
That was
No. All right. So let me be clear.
that was Joe.
Hi, Joe. I don't know Joe. I might know Joe, but yes, there is some studies that some certain hallucinogenics will put you in that same state that a sensitive or a medium walks around in their own. That it heightens your senses. The problem is it can be very dangerous. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the term bad trip.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where you are. It does enhance your senses. The hallucinogenics, the natural things, the peyotes and all that stuff, but they're also very dangerous. So that's a study that's been going on for people who are looking to hear more or see more in the spirit world, who don't have the sensitive abilities, and they want to know more. You can't go to the bar and get drunk and do this stuff and expect that to happen. It's the complete opposite. But in regard to natural hallucinogenics, that has been touched on in the paranormal field. Yes, it has.
Well,
so just don't try it. Please don't try
it. At least at Trinity Paranormal, don't come trying it, bud.
Well, don't come on an investigation tripping out, please.
I think Misty said something back there just a second ago. But there was one thing I wanted to throw up, bro, guys. I've been on Be Live doing this for a while. They sent me a little thing, and I don't know but I could share it. There it is. Boom. Did you see it?
I don't see anything. I see Shane.
Oh, well, I don't know where they come up with their stats, but it's like, I think it's sent out to everybody that's on here, but I don't know. But it said we had 354 comments. I was like, well, that's like way off. I had over 800 comments on the last show, I think. I was like, where do they get their stats? But I had to share that real quick. And real quick before, I'm so terrible about doing my, I love listening to you guys. I don't do my, whatchamacallit. Of course,
Go ahead, go for it.
Oh my goodness, advertisements. All right.
Okay, go.
I've only got really one, and it's Ghost Hunt Weekends, guys. If you all want your ultimate paranormal fan experience, get on www.ghosthuntweekends.com. click on the place you want to go. Look, 2020 is going to be rocking with Ghost Hunt Weekend. We still have the end of this year. We still have Thomas House. We have Rhodes Hall. We have Savannah. I'm not sure what old St. Nick's going to do, but around in that area. But 2020 is going to rock. We Sneed House. We do a bunch of stuff like that. We have a weekend set up. Ghost Hunt Weekends has set up a weekend. Starts on Thursday at Bobby Mackey's. Starts Friday, the Old Slave House. Saturday, the Old Slave House. Sunday, right back at Bobby Mackey's.
Wow.
It is a 4-day rampage of nothing but ghost hunts. I know a bunch of people has been there, but if you want to be part of that, go to www.ghosthuntweekends.com. And if you want to be part and you want to listen to me every now and again, go on www.paranormalhighways.net.
Yes, Shay.
Do you like it? That's like a chorus.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna try that.
Look, I need to get up out of here. This is Cat's show. It's Cat's show. I need to shut my mouth and keep going.
No, I was listening to you. I was listening.
Well, that's the thing. And look, if anybody's on there, they want to get on, they want to push their show and everything like that. I do have advertisement packages. Now, I'm sorry, but they do get charged. Sorry, it's a little bit of fee.
Why are you sorry?
Well, the thing of it is what I do is I try to get them to do about a 45-second thing. All right. And what we try to do is we try to get a video. Now, I can put a video on exactly where I'm at, step away, and your video will play. Nice. So it's a 45-second, 30 to 45-second video. You set it up. And I do have packages for that. If you want to boost your show, boost your team, boost something that's coming up, I do have packages for that. So if you all guys are interested, look, I am from Kentucky.
I love it.
Hey, Cat, you been out yonder yet?
I love it.
Lord,
Make me want some moonshine now.
I am so sorry if I missed any questions here, but I got to get back to Cat. I'm selling. Oh, don't forget BPI products. We do sell your, and there's a few of Trinity Paranormal that have my lights. I say my lights, but it goes through BPI products. It is part of Paranormal Highways. They are on my page. I do have WooCommerce on there. But if anybody wants any IR lights, I do full spectrum. I am working on UV. Now, I don't know if you people have seen some of my not Facebook, but YouTube. I do have a UV, but they're UV lights. It's the black lights. I don't have the blue. I don't have the purple on it, but it's fantastic. I do like doing it because of, well, never mind. I'll shut up. It's about me. Look, I'm getting some. But
you're exciting Chris. You're exciting Chris with this information. He's loving it.
Don't worry. Chris is already set up. When I've already set everything up, he gets the prototype. He tests it out for me, tells me what needs to be done.
Oh, isn't he
so that's what Chris.
Oh my God.
Chris does that for me. Look, see, Chris just said he has one and it works great. Thanks, Chris. He likes the shirt. I'm trying to leak back. I'm trying to leak back here and see if anybody's missed something. Sorry, Kat. I'm just making sure everybody gets if they have a question. I'm just real quick. No point break before investigation.
That's Martha's bar.
Yeah. Now, speaking of what you was just talking about, let me get back on that. All my advertisements and stuff are done. Let me get back on you. And speaking of that, I have heard, not drugs, but I have heard alcohol, especially if you're a psychic or medium, it slows them down just enough where they can get into their vibe and they can, I guess, see more. Now, I'm not saying they're coming out there going, I
see what you're saying. Like, so you're saying some of them will have like a wine and such for to relax before It is a nerve-wracking thing to do, especially when especially when you're walking into places where it's dark or it's not friendly and stuff like that. That I never advise it if that makes them comfortable. To each his own. But I never advise a barbiturate because I know what it does to the body.
Yeah.
And it lowers your senses, even though you feel more relaxed. You're more relaxed because you're not sensing everything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. It's not, like I said, to each their own. With Trinity,
Right.
there's absolutely none of that prior to any investigation. We don't take any chances with we love our team is like a little family. We don't want any danger, or anything like that on prior to the investigations. But it's a good question. It was a great question. I didn't even know they said that. If maybe that's how they feel, if it makes them feel more relaxed.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm the same way with Misty. I mean, she just said be sober.
Yes, be
Excuse
sober.
me. I love her to death. She's so crazy, but
I love it too.
she's still. she talks to me on there. She talks about all kinds of things. She's crazy.
That's listen.
But
We're all
I mean,
crazy.
if you sit there and you go and you catch the best evidence in the world, and they're going to sit there and look at you, and they know you, and they're sitting there, yeah, we know you was drunk, so what was you hallucinating about? Or
That too.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
It's like, okay, so do we believe him or not? It's like, did you catch it on film? Did you catch it on EVP? We don't know.
That's the other factor. Yeah, that you can be debunked and criticized pretty heavily for that. So just go in sober. Once you're done,
right.
how we all look like Jack Nicholson with the hair sticking up after an investigation. So that's when you can have your beer,
Johnny.
That's when you can go have your beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
let's see. We got Melissa here. She asked another question. She said, out of the places you've investigated, what is your favorite one, and is there a place you really want to go? Let me pop it up here real quick. Yeah, there's Melissa and her husband.
Hi, Melissa. Out of the places what's my favorite one I have already investigated?
I guess, yeah, out of the places you have investigated.
Okay.
What is your favorite one?
Okay, it's not a famous place. It was just a case. My favorite one was case 4. I would say because the end result was pretty good. We had it. It actually made the news. That case. Yeah, I can't say too much about it, but I just spoke to the daughter tonight. Actually, that case, their father's body was missing since, I believe, and I may get the year wrong. It was either 1961 or 64. Their dad went missing, and they were suspicious that he was buried in the house. And the family went for years, because they had one reason or another not to dig the house up, because they didn't want to upset the kids. There was this reason, there was that reason, and the oldest daughter, who is now in her 60s, had finally, gotten together with the brother and made the decision to really start searching. The brother was on looking already, but they had a little trouble, making that decision, because it's a tough decision to dig up the house and cause this whole scene. So we were on that case before they found the body, which was in the basement. We were there about 6 times, and then the news broke out 2 days after we did this. Not that we found the body, the sons were digging. I'm just saying, we had found a lot of activity there. Phil will tell you about that place. He did an amazing job there. Really just caught a lot of evidence. I picked up a lot of stuff. The team did a good job there, and they found the body. They found him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he was most likely murdered. We couldn't say anything for a long time because he
was police and everything involved.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually still considered an open homicide case, believe it or not, even though it was since 1964. So, and plus, out of respect for the family, we were very quiet. We still won't name the family, but she knows. She knows. I spoke to her. She knows what's going on. She said you can tell the story, but I didn't want to say any names yet without, um, you know, speaking directly to them. So, yeah, this service is coming. It took them like a year to get his paperwork together and have a real
Wow.
valid military service. And so the end result, even though it's sad, it was sweet at the same time because they found him.
Yeah.
A lot of unanswered questions were answered. So that was the
That's
sweet.
just that's one of those investigations where your heart pours out to you know what I'm saying?
Ripping,
It just
ripping,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I know it. I went from laughing like crazy to like, oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And what an amazing family too. Like they were just the nicest people. So yeah, so that was one of my favorites. And where do I want to go? Was the other question? Okay, this is a tough question.
Yeah. Where would you like to go if you haven't been there yet?
I want to go to the Shanley Hotel.
You haven't been to Stanley?
I did. Chris was there, and I kind of did like a live investigation with him from the phone, and that's where I made my decision right there. And then Beyond the Grave was just there. They got a lot of great results. That place is definitely haunted. I believe you. Wow. I believe. Yeah.
Well, me and the wife are planning on coming up north sometime soon, and we've got to get some investigations with you guys. Actually, I would like to start planning, with a lot of the groups that we have on here, Scar and, Beyond the Grave, and see if we can't set up something where, I'll run a live podcast with you guys before the night before we go out or something like that, and have everybody right there, and then we go.
I would love that. Yeah.
That would, I mean, just. We have you and Phil and everybody together. We just all get together and get going. Same with Scar. I mean, that's what I try to do. I try to get everybody in here. I try to get everybody involved, all the groups involved. It's not just me. I need your guys' input. You know what I'm saying?
Para-unity.
That's exactly what it is. I want to be the middle person of your para-unity. I'm not turning any knobs or I'm not pushing any buttons like that. It's like, you tell me what you want. That's what I'm here for. That's exactly. I'm out for these people. I'm out for you guys,
Thank you, Shane. You're doing a great job at it, by the way.
Well, thank you so much. Hey, guys, but look, we are out of time, and I guarantee you we're going to have a Cat Maria part 2.
Yeah.
I do not know, but that girl can do some talking. And she has not finished. She has not finished anything. Amanda did say we plan to go to the Shanley Hotel with Beyond the Grave Paranormal next year.
Okay.
I wanted this weekend. Let's see. Katie, did you ask a question out of that? Oh, she was talking to somebody. You read down through there and try to make sure you answer all the questions. It says, I had a bad allergy reaction and her face was no, that's not a question. That's pretty sad. I hope everything turned out right. Melissa says, so glad you helped out the family. Phil, he said the residual EVP, possibly actual murderer.
What is the question?
Phil said we picked up a residual EVP of possibly the actual murder.
Yes,
you remember?
We did.
Yes.
Yes, we did. A woman was screaming. Yes.
Yeah. No. Oh, really?
Yeah. Another one I had a dream about prior. So there's my partner catching it right on audio again.
Right.
Don't sound crazy.
There you go. Awesome. Hey, it feels awesome, dude. 1961. 1961. Was that the murder, or was that? I don't remember if that was the murder or what.
Phil, was it 61 or 64?
No, he's put down 61.
Yeah, okay, that's it then.
Thanks, Chris. Chris says that was so much fun. We had a blast tonight, girl. So much fun.
I love Chris Moore. I love Martha Taramo. I love Courtney.
Oh, thanks, Kat. Katie. Katie said, thank you. I'm awesome. I don't know about awesome. Well, Jason, thank you, brother. He's off. Thank you, Melissa. She's off. Well, look, guys. Cat Maria. She's on Trinity Paranormal
Investigations of Long Island.
Thank you. I was trying to get that out. I was trying to say Trinity Paranormal and stop. But there it is. It's on Facebook. Check it out. You got Phil, you got Chris, you got Misty, you got Kat right there. You got Martha on there, and there's many, many more. They will answer any questions you all want. So if you all are on there, get on there and check it out. They're great people. And I'll be honest with you, it was really weird one day. I got on there and I just blurted out. I said, "Hey, I'm going to give you a shout out on my podcast tonight." And I got like 15 or 20 different, "Hey, thank you, man, thank you." And got on there. And dude, I had such a response and such a great notion that I turned around and I got with Mike G, Chris, and Brandon. And do you remember I got them to do the shout out for you guys?
So cool. So cool. I love those guys. That was so cool. Yeah. Thank you, Shane.
Oh, no. It's like, and Chris, he's always in Facebook jail. So, I'm buying my jailbird outfit for Christmas.
Oh, my God. I want to see that. Oh, lots of pictures if that happens.
Oh, yeah. But look, guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for keeping the show rocking along. Like I said, anybody out there, give me the input of what you want. I want to get some people in here about elementals, about stones, about, we can do white witches, we can do dark witches, we can do whatever you want. I will go out and look, and I'll do my best. But next week, we got, I think we got Rhonda Cotto. We actually finally got her back in here for the Sneed House. She owns a place that you all might want to investigate in Virginia. She owns a Sneed House. She is, I don't know if she's a psychic or medium, but she's got some kind of sensitivity. That was really good.
Sensitivity.
I'm so done.
Oh my God!
I am sorry, everybody. That wasn't supposed to come out like that. But anyway.
Can I recommend one place, though? Do you mind if I recommend one place? Because I can't believe what I saw. The Hinsdale House. If anybody hasn't been there, I'm telling you, that place is so haunted. It is so. I know they come and go. It's been said that the spirits come and go there, but that place, Shane, the Hinsdale House, I can't wait to go over the audio for that when we finish these residentials, because it's.
I can't wait to investigate it.
We did, and I have all this audio. We can't go over it because we're doing these residentials right now, and that comes priority, of course. You know that. Once those are done,
Chris keeps me updated about some of the stuff. But look, guys, I am not drunk. My eyes are like this because I've been up since 4:30 this morning.
That's right. Yes.
And you see, I'm drinking Wawa. I'm drinking Wawa. I am just extremely tired. So don't get any bad vibes of me, because I love you. And I have to send all them love and vibes to you tonight. But check it out, guys. We are probably going to end up having Cat Maria back on here, just like Chris. We will. And I told Phil he's got an open door, so whenever he's ready, boom, he can come right on in. But guys, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I think we're going to have to change the name from Paranormal Highways vodcast to Paranormal Highways show, because we're kind of like on a show, don't you think?
Yeah. You're going strong, Shane. You're going strong here.
It's because of my peeps. I love you guys. Y'all doing awesome. We are sitting just about 1,700 strong. 1,700 strong. So we're about ready to break that 2,000 mark here soon. So get your peoples out there, get them on there. Say, hey, look, we got this crazy nut that likes to talk on TV. He looks like he's drunk, but he's not. Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk about paranormal.
He's tired. He worked.
That's just because I'm asleep. Let you see spookies.
Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, that would be so.
That's what we love about you. That's what it is.
But that's just the way it is. But look, guys, if you're get on there, check them out, and if you're interested, and their friends are interested, check it out. www.paranormalhighways.net. Get on there, our Facebook, our Twitter. Look, I'm terrible at Twitter. I just post on Twitter and I don't look at anything else.
Like. I don't know.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter's on there. But I do post everything after this tonight. I will download this. It will go on YouTube. If you want to check it out on YouTube, it's on Shane Blythe. BLYTHESHEN. What did I just say? SHANEBLYTHE.
There it is.
There it is. Sounded like I said two N's. I was like, what?
No, you got it right.
But you guys are so great. Hey, look, leave me some messages, inboxes, or whatever. I don't care. Good, bad, ugly, it don't matter. We all love each other. We're going to get it all worked out. Parent unity is the best. So you all live by it. I'm here for it. I like to push it, and that's the way it's going to be. You all have a great night, and always and forever. Stay spooky, my friend. Don't go nowhere, cat. I had a blast. Oh, wait a minute.